Dez Fitzpatrick. Super excited about this addition to the Tennessee Titans. We're going to talk about him today. Pick 109 from round 4 of the 2021 NFL Draft. Like I said, I'm super excited about him. We're going to go ahead and talk about him. What's good, what's bad, and what can be fixed. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we're going to be talking about Dez Fitzpatrick. But before we get into this video, it's Mother's Day. Go tell your mother how much you appreciate her, okay? Alright, pause this video right now. If she's close by, go tell her. If you get in touch with her, call her right now. Go ahead and do that, man. So let's go ahead and get into it. So hopefully you guys have a happy Mother's Day, though. Let's go ahead and get into it. Dez Fitzpatrick here, drafted by the Tennessee Titans at pick 109. Now, I hate for y'all to just have to look at this screen the whole time, but hopefully y'all can appreciate this enough to listen for me just for about, 5-10 minutes of what I think of them. But I wish I could just show you guys highlights, but, obviously I can't, copyright reasons. But I wish I could just show you highlights and talk, while they're going on. But fortunately, I don't want to risk the, obviously, getting copyright strikes or something like that. So we're just going to have to deal with what we got here. But there was, obviously, an article written by Teron Davenport here on May 6th of 2021. Now, he does talk about some strengths, weaknesses, and, also a couple of reasons why J-Rob decided to go with him and why he liked him. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So we're going to go ahead and talk about kind of what Teron said here. So, I mean, you guys see Tannehill hit him up, congratulated him, and let him know he's ready to get to work. So I think that's awesome, but I'm a big fan of actions speak louder than words. And Tannehill, if you're going to say all this crap, renegotiate that contract and let's bring in Julio. You know what I'm saying? That's a great team. That's what a great team player would say. But again, if you're a great team player, renegotiate that contract, let's bring in Julio, and let's win a Super Bowl. But for right now, I'm sorry, Dez Fitzpatrick, but unless he comes out and is unbelievable, we don't have a shot at the Super Bowl because our offense is absolutely atrocious after losing Jonnu Smith, after losing Corey Davis, Adam Humphries. You've got guys out there that I have never even heard of to go along with A.J. Brown. I mean, it's to a point where it's kind of frustrating. I know J-Rob, but, at the end of the day, we got to get Tannehill to renegotiate, and hopefully he can't renegotiate, because if he's a winner, he's going to renegotiate, and we're going to go off and win a Super Bowl. But if he cannot, with our offense we've got right now, we can't do that. So, again, Dez Fitzpatrick, unless he is performs very well, maybe gets around 800 yards this year, that would be phenomenal. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. I believe Corey had like 900, he was like 20 yards short of 1,000, but Corey did so much. He was a great run blocker. Dez Fitzpatrick is also a great run blocker, but Corey was a great run blocker, and did a lot of little things that didn't show up on a stat sheet. Well, that's why I loved him a lot, and I hate having to release him, but obviously we're not going to pay him that much. I don't think he's worth that much what the Jets paid him, but hats off to him. Congratulations to him, but having to move on here. But Dez Fitzpatrick did pretty much everything what Corey did. He's just going to have to improve on it a little bit. So I like, we can scroll on through here, but I like, so 6'2", 208, big frame, solid frame there for a wide receiver, in my opinion. He plays a lot like AJ. If you guys go watch his highlights here on YouTube, there are a few videos there on YouTube. He has a nice little stiff arm, pretty solid after the catch. At Louisville, they ran a lot of wide receiver screens for him, and a guy that's great after the catch. More strengths to him. I love the way that he runs routes. He's a great route runner, in my opinion. He's able to take the top off the defense too, so that's another thing I like about him. But the only weakness he has is also what Mr. Davenport said here also, is that he doesn't really create that much separation. Before we get into that, if you guys see this right here, in the Senior Bowl, okay? So he played in the Senior Bowl, had a pretty solid game there, had 90 yards. So a lot of guys that played in the Senior Bowl, this was a common, you saw this a lot in the draft. Guys that played in the Senior Bowl that were projected later in the draft actually got drafted a little bit ahead of what they were projected. I guess that's because GMs like to go out and watch these guys play, and that's what they were able to do in Senior Bowl. And that's probably why this Dez Fitzpatrick, that's why he probably got bumped up a little bit. I think it was projected 4th to 6th. He was drafted 4th, so, who knows? Maybe this Senior Bowl performance bumped his, draft stock up a little bit. That's why we went ahead and traded up for him. But do I think we should have traded up for him? No, I think he could have fell to us maybe in the 5th round or something like that, or 6th maybe. But I think this still is a great guy. I really hope he's all of what I think he possibly could be, because I definitely think he could go ahead and get 800 yards next year, and I wouldn't be surprised, unless we bring in Julio or someone where he goes into that like wide receiver 4 spot. Then he won't have as many yards. But if he turns into a wide receiver 3 or 2, if we don't bring in another wide receiver, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 800 yards. But a good year for him next year. If we don't bring anyone in like a Julio Jones or someone, I could say maybe 500 to 800. If he can get at least 500, I'd be happy, but 800 would be phenomenal. But if we do bring in like a Julio and he's like a rotational guy, probably looking at around 400-ish to 500-ish yards there. But I might be completely wrong. Keep on going here. He does mention that the J-Rob liked his size and speed. He thought that was a great combo that he had. And his length, wingspan's nice on him too. He's got great route running skills. Like I said, a great blocker also. That's another thing that obviously we need with us being a run-first offense. We need that great run blocking there on the outside. And he's also a great, if you go watch his highlights, there's a couple of plays that he makes that I don't know how he makes that play. Like, he'll go up and catch the ball, and I'm like, how in the heck did he just go and make that play? But he can go up and snag a ball if he needs to. Again, phenomenal player in my opinion. I think that he definitely underrated going into the draft after watching highlights. But I think if you can put this guy alongside A.J. Brown, and if Dez Fitzpatrick can go ahead and force the safeties of defenses to respect his, possibility of beating you deep, I think that almost, if we could just get this Dez Fitzpatrick kid to beat teams over the top maybe a couple times during the year, and then have safeties just have to respect him deep, that way it can open up stuff for A.J. Brown and Josh Reynolds. I think, if we can have a guy that can take the top off of defenses, which I think is very important, then it's going to open it up, for A.J. Brown and Josh Reynolds. You'll see here he had 43 catches last year, 833 yards, 3 touchdowns in his senior year. And really, he didn't really have a good quarterback his whole career at Louisville, except for his freshman year where he played with Lamar. And I'm very excited to see how he plays with Tannehill. Him finally having that good quarterback to play with. Obviously, Lamar's a good quarterback, but again, he made a lot of plays in college with his legs, not his arms. So I'm very excited to see how he plays with Tannehill. Him finally having that, amazing quarterback. So excited to see how that works out. And again, another nice little number here is he averaged 19.3 yards per catch. That's another nice thing to know about him. So this is what I was talking about here. If he can, if Tannehill can, connect with Fitzpatrick on a couple deep passes, and the safety's got to start respecting them. So that's what will open up things for A.J. Brown and Josh Reynolds also. And yeah, I mean, I think that if this guy can just go out and have a solid year, 600, 800 yards, if we don't bring in a Julio, I think I would be super excited if he can get 600, 800 yards. Like I said, guys, I think that would be phenomenal if he gets like 800 yards, 3-4 touchdowns. That would be a phenomenal number. It's going to be tough for him to get it. But that's obviously without having an addition for like Julio Jones or something like that. Like I said, at the end of the day, Tannehill, you got to renegotiate. You're making $200 million. You know, take $20 million off of that, you're still living lavish, buddy. So I think you could definitely give up $20 million to potentially go and win a Super Bowl, because you're not going to win a Super Bowl with the players you have right now. You got to bring in a big piece of the puzzle, and I think we're missing one big piece right now. Defense, I think we fixed the defense. Defense is going to look completely different next year, so we really have no idea how they're going to play. I think we made the correct changes with Bud Dupree, bringing him in, Denico Ultra, bringing him in to go along with Big Jeff, Harold Landry. I mean, I think that front seven is going to be phenomenal. Brought back Jayon, got Rashawn for one more year, and then I think, you know, the kid we drafted out of Georgia, the middle inside linebacker, I think he's going to play phenomenal once Rashawn's gone. I think he's going to fill that role there. And then cornerbacks, you know, I really do hope we can play well at cornerback, and I think safeties are A-okay there with Kevin Byard and Amani Hooker. But again, I think we did fix cornerback with Caleb Marley. Hopefully he can turn into a Jeffrey Simmons type guy. And yeah, Christian Fulton, hopefully he can play well for us. Obviously we got Jack Rabbit there too. So yeah, at the end of the day, we're missing one piece, and I think that's got to be a guy on offense, and definitely could possibly be Julio. And, you know, who knows? So yeah. With that being said, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And until next time, I'll see y'all.